I'm Rob from Barefoot Gaming, and today we review the Be Quiet Pure Bass 500 DX. So although this is not the first time I've reviewed a Be Quiet case, this is the first time I've reviewed one where the emphasis was really more on aesthetics than it was on noise levels. Now, don't get me wrong, this is still a really quiet case. In fact, I've got it running right beside my microphone, especially because of the Be Quiet fans throughout. Now, gone are the thick pads of insulation on all the outside components. The back panel still has some noise insulation dampening material, but the front is entirely tempered glass. And yes, actual glass to show off the pretty bells and whistles that are on the inside of the case. Now, I've talked about this in the past, but a big part of how Be Quiet pulls off their silent fans is their funky fins that are built into the blades of the fans themselves. It comes with a fair number of those just for the case. It comes with a 140 Pure Wing 2 fan installed in the front. It's got one 140 Pure Wing 2 fan in the rear and one 140mm Pure Wing 2 fan on the top, all spinning at 900 RPM. So to add to the lack of noise, and it does have room for more fans, those are just the ones that come pre-installed. As to the power supply, Be Quiet sent a straight power 10, 700 watt Be Quiet branded power supply, which, although not completely modular, since the power cables to the motherboard, for example, is non-removable, all the accessory cables are added only when needed. Now you pair that with the Be Quiet Pure Rock 2 CPU cooler, and all the case fans are beyond whisper quiet. I mentioned this is running right beside a microphone, so much so that you can't even tell if the case is always on. Now let's see, mid-tower case with one side panel tempered, the rest is either steel or the feet, for example, are plastic. A recessed filter sits on the top of the case, which is magnetic, so popping it off is a breeze for quick dusting and cleaning and such. There's also a pull-out filter on the bottom that apparently you can never have too many filters, so you can take off the front, and there is another filter there. It has one USB-C 3.1 Gen 2, one USB 3 port on the top, alongside the power button, the headphone, and the mic jack, and it has an RGB light button. ARGB is again something I'm not used to seeing a Be Quiet focus on, and they have totally changed that with the DX. First off, there are the two light strips down the front, which by pressing the aforementioned button on the top, cycles not only the color, but the color effect running down the front of the case, which also corresponds to the lights that are shining down inside of the case onto your components. So this gives you a lot of color and a lot of design options. You can also sync this to your motherboard if you've got the hardware to do so, but one way or another, if you want funky lights, you got them. Now on to the more important bits. This mid-tower case supports mini ITX, ATX, and micro ATX. There are 7 slots for PCI cards and the like, 2 internal, 3.5-inch bays, 5 internal, 2.5. So feel free to pair this with a bunch of solid states to keep the silent theme going. The 3.5-inch hard drive enclosure has rubber gaskets on the side to cut down on vibration noise. Now there are not only lots of places to route your cable and keep them hidden, but this case also comes with a bunch of Velcro ties that you can run throughout the case to keep it nice and tidy. Now, something else I appreciate is everything that mounts the 2.5-inch hard drive plate, for example, can be removed before installing the hard drives and just screwed in after. So the power supply, same deal. Mount first and then slip that in and tighten the screws. It really is designed to make installation as simple as possible. Now, what are my takeaways on this case? Heat-wise, this does a great job of heat dissipation as there is lots of room. The existing fans already move a lot of air, and there is lots of room for airflow. For video card size, which can be a problem in lots of cases, this has oodles of room as well. In fact, you can fit up to a 369mm video card, or 14.5 inches, so even the beast of an RTX 3090 would fit in this case. Noise levels, honestly, I'm not keen to tell you how it compares to voice whispering versus a low hum to a mouse farting. Honestly, it's quiet. It is super quiet. I put in a Founders Edition GTX 1080 in this case, and that is the only fan I can hear. Then I close the case, and that noise is gone as well. So it is quiet. One would almost think the company based their name off of that principle. However, if you've got a beastly video card with a metric buttload of fans and you are running water cooling with compressors and the like, this is not going to be as quiet as their non-windowed all acoustic padded cases. You get to take your pick here. You want some pretty lights, you want a window, and you've got to suck it up, Buttercup, because you can't have both. The thick glass does a good job, but it's not perfect. Because of the ample space, you can fit a 360mm radiator in this case if you so decide to go with liquid cooling. I wish it had more USB front ports, personally. Although I am thankful for a USB-C in the front, I want more USB jacks myself. The fan and heatsink that Be Quiet sent do a great job at staying quiet, but it's not designed for overclocking really. So I wouldn't recommend the Pure Rock 2 CPU cooler if overclock is your end game. The power supply is crazy quiet, but it's pricey, but that affects the build quality. It is built like a rock, and you're paying for the premium. Really, the only con I have is a lack of front USB ports, and there's no vertical expansion on the back. So if you decide you want to mount your video card vertically with a kit, and I mean, you should like the aesthetics of whatever case you buy, so that matters as well. If you don't like the way this looks, don't buy it. I think it's great. It's a solid, good value case, and that is the review of the PureBase 500DX. If you have any questions about the case, if you have any questions about the power supply or the CPU and heatsink, let me know, and I will talk to you again real soon. See ya.